Next, this one I was really excited about, but upon receiving it and doing some research, I'm not certain how I feel about it. It is the Granny Square card deck. And when I first heard about it, I was like, this is really cool, because I thought I was thinking it was something similar to, oh, I can't think of the name of who makes it, you know, once again, editing Jackie. It's like you can make a hat, or it's like different stitches that you can use to make one item. I can't think of the words right now, but that's kind of what I thought this was. And I was really excited about it. When I opened it, there's a little booklet that comes with it. When I opened it, I could see, not really. I cannot read any of this. And I thought, well, that's kind of peculiar, but whatever. And then doing some more flipping through and looking and whatever, it has like these names of these stitches. And again, there's the chart for the stitches. It feels like there's more squares in the pictures than there are on the little cards. And I'll show you the cards in a second. So, I'm just going to say, Okay, so this is the first square that shows up in the book, and it is also the first square that shows up on the cards. Now, these cards just show you, like, this is the back, I guess, and this is the front. So if you don't know how to read a chart, you're kind of screwed. Again, especially since you can't actually read the written instructions in the little booklet. And then I started to see a bunch of that is not how you spell diamond. In case you didn't know, that's not how you spell diamond. And upon further research, I have learned that these are counterfeit. So the version that I had seen first a few months ago is the official, legitimate, whatever. And someone did a review on Amazon, because apparently some of the ones that you could buy on Amazon were also counterfeit. The stitches in this set are not the same as the stitches in the original one. These are definitely more challenging, where apparently the original pack had more basic squares, and the thickness, if you can call it that, the thickness of these cards pales in comparison to the thickness of the original cards, which are kind of like those little toddler books. You know what I'm talking about, like that super thick kind of cardboard. That's what the original one's on. So learning that this is a counterfeit, it's not sitting well with me right now. Would I recommend this? I'm going to have to say no, because it's, I don't know. Because again, I know that when you get things from Temu, that and it's not so much that it's, okay, here we go. Are you ready? Buckle in, boys and girls. So this is what I know. Back in the 80s, my parents were stationed in Korea. And when they came back, they had brought us, my brother and I, because we had to stay in the States. My parents had brought us like name brand shoes and name brand clothing. And the thing of it is that a lot of the American companies were having their goods manufactured in Korea. And so they had like all of the information needed to create a shoe or whatever, because that's where it was being manufactured. And they were allowed to sell them in Korea, because there was no copyright laws in Korea. Now, again, this is in the 80s, so I don't know if that's still a thing, blah, 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 blah. I do remember hearing that when the Olympics were in Seoul, Korea, a lot of the athletes or whatever were also coming back with name brand things that they had bought at very little cost because, once again, copyright issues, whatever, whatever. I am not trying to get anybody thrown in jail with this story. It's just a story. In that vein, if a lot of American manufacturers, even today, including, I guess, publishers, if they're sending their things overseas and having, people in China, or if they're having companies in China or whatever, if they're over there, they actually have access to the proper information. So when they are reselling it after they've made whatever they needed to make for the American or whatever company, then they just continue to produce it and sell it, on their own. In saying that, does that mean it's counterfeit? I don't know, because again, if they had access to the originals and they're just reproducing it just on less quality materials, is it really counterfeit? Or is it really, what do you call it? Like copyright infringement or whatever. So this is the dilemma. But again, and I will try to maybe put a link so that you can see what I will link you to the Amazon reviewer that I'm referring to. It made it make more sense as to why this looks a little bit different than the other one, but she kind of goes into more detail about it. It makes a whole lot of sense, but like I said, I'm not certain how I feel about this. So I'm just going to say that. Why I bought it in the first place. I love the idea of having, I've got books, right? I've got tons of books on different crochet squares. I like the idea of having it on a card because then I can just take one with me if I'm going somewhere, throw it in my bag, and I can kind of work on a square at a time because, that's what I've been doing all year with the hip to be square mouth. Unfortunately, again, aside from all of the ethics parts that I've mentioned, the thickness, the lack of stability in the cards doesn't make it easy to just toss one of the cards in your project bag and go, because it would definitely get bent up. So it's the thickness of playing cards. And I think it should just be a little bit thicker than that. Other than that, the concept was cool, which is why I wanted it in the first place. I'm just sharing that with you. I did check again on Amazon. They don't have any in stock, and there were a lot that were sold that were like this, but they were sold under the, it was a whole thing. I'm just saying. So if you want to get one, make sure that you're getting the legitimate one from Claire Montgomery. That's the name of the author, and her name is spelled like this. I had to check because I thought it was a typo because I've never seen Montgomery spelled that way. Just that's my 2 cents on this.